But I suspect that most of you here are already kind of on the yes side. But in spite of that, could I ask you, please don't give them an easy time when it comes to questions. Any doubts or concerns that you've got, don't hold back, and we'll have a fantastic evening. I just want to hand you over now to the chairman for the evening. It's John Milligan. He is the stalwart of the Lanarkshire Forum for Independence. And have a good time, everybody, and take it away, John. Thanks.
Thanks, Alan. I don't know about that stalwart, but this is one of those occasions where the child is the father of the man, in respect of the younger guys in the town here who decided to kick this initiative off. And fair play to them. And it's a pleasure and a privilege to be associated with the campaign. But I want to open my remarks tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to pay a comment or two about, as you know, Bob Crow was invited a guest here, the General Secretary of the RNT Trade Union, who tragically and suddenly passed away just 3 weeks ago at the early age of 52 years. And true to our traditional hospitality, we believe it appropriate that from this meeting tonight, we send condolences to Bob's partner, Nicky, his children and grandchildren, family and friends, and extend our best wishes to members of the RNT Trade Union, and I'm one of them, who have lost an inspirational leader. But Bob's advocacy on behalf of working people was not confined to acting solely for members of the RMT. He believed in justice and fairness for ordinary men and women at home and throughout the world. He practiced his trade unionist, anti-fascist and socialist beliefs in his commitment to lend solidarity and support wherever it was needed. Attending his funeral last Monday, you could see and actually feel the high regard in which he was held, because people recognized that here was a guy who had taken up the challenge on their behalf. Trade unionists from England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, and across the world joined with pensioners' groups, campaigners against austerity, campaigners against nuclear weapons, campaigners against wars, individual citizens, solidarity groups on behalf of Cuba, Venezuela, Palestine, and the rest were there to pay tribute. See, Bob understood completely where the source of the problem for working people lay. And he took the challenge to the establishment with courage and conviction. You could even say he was audacious, a word used by Jim Sillars in his book In Place of Fear 2, saying that if we are to succeed, we too must be audacious. Bob knew the source of the problem, the Westminster Consensus and its support for the failed economic model. That is why he embraced the cause which we are discussing tonight, the cause of Scottish independence. His position was that an independent Scotland, taking the opportunity to build a more just and equitable society, would act as a beacon to the rest of Britain, and as such would be in the interest of solidarity with working people throughout these islands and abroad. But Bob was no stranger to Scotland, and in recent times was an enthusiastic supporter of its Scottish independence, as our union conducted a consultation on the issue with our members at meetings throughout the country, declaring that if he lived in Scotland, he would vote yes on the 18th of September. A position he would no doubt have conveyed tonight. He had visited Motherwell many times, and the last time I spoke to him was on the eve of his death. He was really looking forward to coming here and being involved in the debate. We have lost a true comrade and friend. But in many respects, he is here. He is here. His legacy to continue this struggle. I know that he would have completely accepted and endorsed the words, "Don't mourn, organise." Don't mourn, organise. And that's what we'll be doing tonight, putting the case, looking to convince, and going forward, organising for an independent Scotland. These would be the views of Bob Crow, and it's a privilege to know him. Just to go on to the business of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, this meeting is open to all, decided or undecided. We trust that we will have an informative, forthright and open discussion, as Alan has indicated, within which we can engage on the issues surrounding the referendum vote. The topic tonight, independence, is not an end in itself, because the meeting tonight is an opportunity for all of us not only to hear why we should have an independent Scotland, but also what that independent Scotland can bring. What opportunities come with the power of an independent Scotland? How can we develop a more fair and just society? How can we use the material resources of the country in combination with the intelligence of its people so that future generations can prosper? What are the consequences of a no vote on the 18th of September? Jim Sillars comments in his book that, I quote, "Independence does not mean more of the same, with the only difference being that the saltire flies alone on public buildings instead of alongside the Union flag." Robin McAlpine, under the title "All of Us First," argues the concept and opportunities through the commonweal. The commonweal is an old Scots phrase, as you know, which means well shared in common and the well-being of all. And Cat Boyd campaigns under the Radical Independence Campaign slogan of "Another Scotland is possible." And these panel of speakers will get an opportunity in a second or two to convey all that entails. So the format of the meeting just now then is each of the speakers will have 10 to 15 minutes to make their presentation, and then we will open up the meeting to a questions and answer session, at the conclusion of which the speakers will have 5 minutes each to wind up. And we will conclude on Wednesday morning at 10:30. I told Jim to bring a big piece of me, but anyway, we'll conclude at a reasonable time, put it that way. So I'm going to call the first speaker, and when we get to the question and answer session, please bear in mind I've been advised by the technical guys that wait till you get the microphone, the mobile microphone in front of you, before you ask your question, so they can pick the sound up, because they're going worldwide. You'll be famous by tomorrow morning. So the first speaker I'm going to call upon is Robin McAlpine. Robin is the director of the Jimmy Reid Foundation and editor of the Labour Left Review. A very busy guy, and a number of meetings that Robin's doing and the other colleagues here tonight would make you blush. I remember going over to Blantyre quite recently, and he had a meeting starting at 7:30, and he had a meeting at Stonehouse at 7:30 as well. Now, I don't know how, I listened to him very well, and he was done well, but I don't know how he got to, I didn't know there was a time barrier between him and Blantyre, and he went back the way when he got to Stonehouse. Although some people argue that's the case, but anyway. That's not the case at all. But anyway, I'm going to bring up Robin and to make his presentation. Thank you very much.
I would never